Lift and roll your shoulders, which gets the energy flowing, your Udana energy flowing upwards to the head. And then just raise your arms up, touch your palms, bring them through the center, come on down through the center, bend your knees, bend your elbows, touch either the floor or your shins. Breathe in, lengthen along your spine. Breathe out, soften your knees, soften your elbows. Breathe in, press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing, raising your arms upwards. And then lowering your hands. Again, bring your hands to your heart center. Circle your hands up. Stretch your fingers. Hands together. Come through the center, bending your knees, softening your elbows as you roll down. So either touch the floor or your shins. Once you're there, breathe in and lengthen from your tailbone to the top of your head, your chin tucks in. Breathe out, soften your knees. Slightly soften your elbows and then pressing your feet down as you breathe in, roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Stretch your hands up, stretch your fingers and lower your arms. Before we start this pose or this practice and come to lying, just very gently sway, as we do so often, from side to side. And just also have an appreciation for not only are your 5 energies moving, but you're balancing your pelvis, you're doing a mindfulness exercise as this swaying from side to side doesn't allow you to really think, it just releases everything from your mind. You're not able to hold your focus, just releases. So any thoughts that we may have had, just hopefully shift. We will come back to them, but our perspective changes slightly. So this particular practice is a mindfulness practice that we're going to be doing. And we've not really done it before, not in this format, I don't think. So just come to slow down. Come to bring your feet hip-width apart. Before we come to lying on the mat, just lift all your toes and then place them down one at a time so that you're spreading your toes out just to get a sense of balance. And if you stand absolutely still, you might find that you're just making gentle circles. I notice that my circles are slightly clockwise just to maintain your balance. If you did this exact exercise on the other side of the world, so if you were in Australia, apparently the polarity is different and you swirl the other way. So if I were in Australia, I'd be swirling left, apparently. Bring your hands to your heart and then come to the ground, come to lying, actually flat out on the mat. Stretching along the mat, just extend your heels, lower your shoulders away from your ears, just roll your head gently from one side to the other. So this exercise, you extend your right heel, relax it, and then extend your left heel, relax, extend your right, and then your left. And keep on doing that. So it's almost as if you're like walking, but you're creating space at the hip level. It's actually one of somatic exercises. And this is very implicated in anti-aging for a number of reasons. One of which explores the relationship of the torso to the limbs, so the legs and the arms as they attach to the torso. So then just relax And then circle your ankles in one direction. You're circling both ankles, beginning to wake up the circulation. And then circle your ankles in the other direction. And then just release and relax your ankles. Raise your right arm up behind you and extend your left heel. So you'll feel a diagonal stretch along the body. Start to breathe out and then release your arm back again and relax your left leg. And then extend your right heel and raise your left arm. You have a diagonal stretch along the other side. Start to breathe out and lower your arm, relax your right foot. As you next breathe in, extend both heels away from you and raise both arms up above you. You can either hold your wrists or just stretch your arms out. Whatever works for you, your elbows can be bent or straight. And as you start to breathe out, lower your arms and then relax your feet. Now bend your both knees so that both feet are on the ground, hip width apart. You can make your feet even slightly wider than hip width apart, and feel free to adjust as we go along. Open your arms out, palms are down in a T. If that's too strong for under your arms, you can always slightly lower them to make an A. And let both knees drift over to the right. Your right palm stays down and your left palm opens up. You roll your left palm and arm upwards to the ceiling, and you can turn optionally your head to the left. And just stay here for an in and an out breath. To come back to the center, just slightly bring your lower abdominal muscles in towards your spine. Slightly engage your perineum and lift both knees up. By engaging like this, you protect your lower back. Lower your left palm down, so both palms are down, and let both knees just very gently drift over to the left. Your right palm turns up, so as it faces the ceiling, and your head can turn towards the right. Your eyes can either look up or they can look diagonally along the mat and along your right arm. And just stay here for a couple of breaths. And then very gently engage your perineum, engage your lower abdomen back towards the spine to support your legs as they drift upwards again. And bring your palms in, your elbows in, to rest on your abdomen. You can keep your legs where they are, or you can adjust them slightly. And this time just roll both knees to the right. You can look slightly to the left. Bring both knees up to the center and both knees drift over to the left. Your head goes to the right and your hands are just massaging lightly over your abdomen. And just a couple of times drifting your knees from side to side in your own time. You're also massaging across the lower back. And then come to the center. Feel you can make any adjustments with your feet that you would like to. and pick up your left knee, hugging your left knee into your chest. Your right foot can stay on the ground with your knee bent, or you can extend your right foot along the ground, which is a stronger stretch. How you want to do this is up to you. Just hugging the left knee into the chest, just circle the left knee a couple of times in one direction. And then circle the left knee a couple of times in the other direction. Drop your hands underneath your left thigh, clasp your hands, and extend your left leg to the ceiling. Extend your left heel and feel the stretch along the back of your left leg. Bend your left knee in towards you again. And then place your left foot on the ground, either keeping the knee bent or sliding it out along the mat. As you bring your right knee to hug in towards the chest. Just circle your right knee a couple of times. And circle your right knee in the other direction a couple of times. Clasping underneath your right thigh, clasping your hands, extend your right leg up to the ceiling and extend your right heel and really feel the stretch along the back of the right leg. If anybody's got sciatic issues, this kind of goes into that area. But sciatic nerve is complicated. There are other aspects that come into play. And then very, very gently bend the right knee in towards you and place the right foot onto the ground. Bring your hands and clasp them underneath your head so that your palms of your hands are supporting the head, elbows are out to the side. Breathing out, flatten your back to the ground and just slightly curl your head up. Your elbows can come in if that helps, and then breathing out. Relax your head back down to the ground. Breathing out, flatten your back and you slightly curl your head upwards. You'll feel your abdominal muscles contracting. And breathing out. Lower. And one more time, breathing out, flatten your back as you exhale, bringing your head slightly up towards your knees. You're not going to go far. And then release your head. Keep your right hand under your head. Bend your left knee into your chest and hold your left knee with your left hand. Breathing out, lift your head up and aim your right elbow towards your left knee. And then relax back down to the earth. Breathing out, lift up your head and aim the right elbow towards the left knee. It doesn't have to touch, of course. And then relax. And one more time, lifting up and over to the side, bringing your right elbow towards your left knee. And then release and relax your left knee and foot back down to the floor. This time hold your head underneath with your left hand. The action of the fingers, just where the head meets the top of the neck, the skull, is a very important, quite a supportive aspect. It's more than the sum of its parts. It does more than you think it does. Hold your right knee with your right hand. And the same thing, breathing out, slightly lift your head up, your left elbow goes towards your right knee and lowering back down to the ground. Breathing out, curl your head up and your left elbow slightly goes inwards towards the right knee. And one last time in your own time. Lifting up and just curling over and release. Relax your head back down onto the ground, slide your left hand out. And this time hug both knees into the chest. Rock gently from side to side, rocking as much or as little as you would like. And now change the rock to hug your knees into your chest. Still holding the knees, let them drift away. Hug your knees into your chest and let them drift away. So you're massaging along your lower spine, right along the area that we can get so stiff and sore. Going down towards the bottom, and then as we hug the knees into the chest, you're going up towards your L4, L5 big joints where all the movement comes from. And then just enjoy that last hug, the knees into the chest, release. Bring your feet back down onto the ground. And roll to the side. We're going to come to kneeling in a cat-cow movement. So again here, you can vary it according to how you like, but the guidelines are fingers spread apart and hands shoulder width apart, knees hip width apart. Just gently sway your bottom from side to side. Really sway it from side to side, and you'll feel this releasing your lower abdominal area, but also the sides of your waist. And then very gently come to central and just classic cat-cow. These days, cat-cow tends to be with the tops of your feet on the floor and tucking your toes when you come into downward dog. But at any point, if you want to keep your toes tucked under, you go back to the old traditional cat-cow, and it has the benefit of stabilising your back, but also stretching out under your toes. But again, classic, we've moved away from the classic, and most people just prefer to have their feet flat, so it's a choice. Dipping your back in classic cat, either looking up or along the mat, that depends on your neck capacity, and breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Breathing in, dipping your back, cat, and rounding chin to chest. And breathing in, dipping your back, cat, and rounding chin to chest. Come back to neutral. Take your right hand, turn the palm upwards and slide your right hand on your arm underneath your left, so as you come in to thread the needle, resting on your right shoulder. Your left hand stays on the ground, but you might like to crawl your left hand towards the top of your mat. It's an option. So you come in to thread the needle, and you'll feel the right shoulder stretching, the right side of the head, all the way along the right side. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then again, bring your tummy in just to support you, to press your left hand down and roll up, out, back to tabletop. Readjust your hands and just sway your bottom from side to side before coming to the other side, where you turn your left palm up, slide your left arm behind your right, and come onto your left shoulder. Your right hand can stay where it is, or you can slide your right hand up towards the top of the mat, stretching your right arm out. It's an option. And just feel you can come to opening up your shoulder on the left side, stretching into that thoracic kind of shoulder blade area. Tummy in as you roll back and come out, coming back to tabletop. This is an option. Walk your hands, if you don't want to do this, then just stay where you are and sway your bottom from side to side. Walk your hands forward and lift your feet and just sway from side to side. That might not suit you for your knees. If so, then just come to swaying your bottom from side to side. And in any case, come to return your feet to the ground. Readjust your tabletop position. Curl your chin to your chest. Now tuck your toes if they're not already tucked. Tummy in, and we're going to come to a very soft downward dog. Bend your knees, your bottom is up high towards the ceiling, and almost aim your heart towards your legs, your knees, your heart towards the ground. And then you can start to straighten your legs. You can start to widen your feet if you'd like. And you can keep your knees bent. Slightly sway from side to side. Bend one knee and then the other knee, so walk the dog. You're stretching out your calves, your heels don't have to touch the ground. And then gently walk one foot, then the other. You can bring your hands towards your feet. You're coming into a forward roll. Forward bend, soften your knees. You can rest your torso on your bent knees or your bent on your thighs. And then just gradually and very gently roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Take your time. Let the blood adjust as you come to standing and lift and roll your shoulders. And then come to step out into your legs wide apart. Arms up. Just explore that relationship with the shoulders again as you turn the palms up, almost the little fingers over and down. And then rest your hands on your waist, just encouraging you to lift up at the heart center. Turn your left foot in at a 45-degree angle roughly, and your right foot out. Soften your right knee as you bend it, dropping your weight centrally. I need to adjust out a little bit more just to make sure that I'm central, I'm not coming over. And just come into Warrior Two, looking beyond your front right hand. Bring your left palm towards your right palm. The two touch. Draw your left elbow back high so that you're pulling your bow and opening across the chest. Lift your right arm up. You can straighten your right leg and look at your right thumb. And then open both arms back out to Warrior Two. Soften your front right knee. Bring the left palm to the right palm. You can look at your palms. Draw your left elbow back as if you're drawing an imaginary bow opening across the chest. Lift up your right hand, looking upwards. This is a mindfulness exercise, disconnecting your brain from the stress centers as you look up, and then opening your hands into Warrior Two, softening your legs. And last time, bring your palm, left palm to the right palm. Draw your bow, opening your chest. Lift up your hand, and then open out. Just drop your hands, bring your feet parallel, lift and roll your shoulders, and then turn your right foot in, your left foot out to come to the other side. Raise your hands in Warrior Two, look beyond the fingers of your left hand, soften your left knee, dropping your weight centrally. Very good for, not that we're depressed, but anti-depression to lifting up the chest. Bring your right palm to your left palm. Draw your right elbow back high so that it's a high bow. Lift your left hand and look upwards to your left thumb. And then open your hands wide in Warrior Two. Right hand to left palm. Draw your bow with your left hand. Lift your right hand, lift your left elbow, lift your left hand, sorry, and then open out. I hope that you know what I'm saying. And then right hand to left hand. Draw your right elbow back high. Lift your left hand looking up. Open out, Warrior Two. Drop your hands. Bring your feet back to the center. And slide your hands down your thighs and fingers inside. So bring your left shoulder forward, pressing down with your left hand on the inside of your left thigh. Turn to the right and look over your right shoulder. You're really stretching out the left side. Come back to the centre, press on the right inner thigh as you bring your right shoulder in towards the centre and turn to look over your left shoulder. Come back to the centre and just sway your weight slightly from left foot to right, right foot to left as you sway from side to side. And then pressing your feet down, rolling up to standing. Bring it's heel toeing, so your toes come inwards, your heels come inwards. So heel toe your feet until they're hip width apart. Lift and roll your shoulders, and we're going to try a balance. Raise your hands upwards, clasp them, reverse, palms upwards, and then just lift your heels. When you've lifted your heels, you can try lowering your heels but keeping them a millimetre off the ground and see if that makes any difference. So a balance is very good for left-right brain coordination, and it's also very good as a mindfulness exercise, focuses your mind, and then breathing out when you're ready. Lower your heels, lower your hands back down alongside you, and lift and roll your shoulders. Bring your hands to your heart and come to bend your knees. We're going to come onto our tummies, which I don't do very often, into Sphinx pose. So come to your knees, slide onto your tummy, but you're resting on your elbows to a comfortable position. Look down at the mat. Adjust your elbows, adjust your knees out slightly to be comfortable. The further you have your elbows away from you, the lower the angle will be at your lower back. So it's a sphinx is a much softer version of cobra. So your hands, palms are flat on the floor. When you're comfortable, press your elbows and lower arms into the ground as if you're going to pull yourself forward a millimetre and then relax. And now just wobble your bottom from side to side. This is called jelly wobble bottom, but it actually has another name, which is a sacroiliac stabilizer, SIS. And then just look down. If you have sciatic issues, you can tuck the toes underneath the one leg, so your right leg, tuck your right toes under, lift the entire right leg and push the right heel back. Extend the right heel away from you, and then just lower the entire right leg back down to the ground. Relax your right foot and open the right heel to the side, just jelly wobble again. And then tucking the left toes underneath, lift the entire left leg a millimetre or inch or two off the ground and extend your left heel backwards. Release and relax the entire left leg now. Open your heels to the side, let them flop out, and then just wobble your bottom from side to side. And then just Widen your elbows, bring your hands back. We're going to come to kneeling. So classically you bring your elbows in, pressing your hands down. You can also come to kneeling by rolling onto the side. So come to the kneeling however you feel you'd like to, into a tabletop position. Knees are hip width apart. And then keeping your hips high, walk, you're going to come to puppy pose. So come back down onto your elbows, your bottoms high, and walk your elbows and hands away from you. Your forehead might even touch the ground. If it doesn't, you don't have to. You can rest your elbows on the ground for a restful position, or if you want to really stretch into this lower back, you can lift your elbows off the ground. I prefer to rest my elbows on the ground. Tummy in, bottom high, and again you're getting into that upper back region. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then to come out of that, tummy in, again supporting you as you slide your hands back towards your knees, back to tabletop. And we're now going to come to sitting and come to cobbler's pose. So that is soles of the feet together. So our resident expert here, Sue, I don't know if you're holding your hands, you can massage your inner soles with your thumbs. I don't know if you've got any wisdoms, nuggets and pearls that you want to focus on today, Sue. Any parts of our feet, any body parts you want to highlight today?
Yes, the inside of your ankles, if you do a circle around both there, that's your lymphatics, stimulating your lymphatic system.
Oh, around the ankles, did you say?
Around the ankle bones, on the inside and the out. It's a bit hard to do on the outside. If you do it on the inside, just because you've got your feet together,
Oh,
press your
that feels lovely actually.
yes, it's like that's the lymphatic system. So that helps.
Oh, thank you. Sue is a reflexologist, if you weren't aware of that. It's all lovely. So just again, opening, while we're focusing on our ankles, your inner groins are being opened, so you're actually boosting your immune system at the lower lymph, the groin level. Your back, if you hold on to your ankles, your back can straighten and then relax and round. So immune and lymphatic all needs boosting. And then just give your ankles or anywhere else on your feet one last little massage. And then come to stretch your legs out into a V, into a wide V. If you need to take the flesh out from under your bottom, then please do. Your toes are extended upwards. And again, part of the somatic focus is on variations of everting and inverting your feet. So you can touch your hands to the ground just to support your weight. And your toes coming in is an invert. They're coming in towards the midline of your body. And then as your toes go out, stretching away from you and away from the midline of the body, that's an eversion. So invert, big toes, and the whole foot turns inwards towards the midline and out. And that simple movement, as I said, comes in a number of variations. This is in its simplest form, really. But it works the ankles in a slightly different way. And again, that movement goes all the way up your leg, almost into your hip socket. So just a couple of in and outs. And then sliding your hands either down your thighs or just alongside the ground to come forward centrally this time. We often go over to the side, but just hold your big toes. If your fingers don't go round your big toes and your thumb on top, then just hold anywhere on your shin so that it feels good for you, and just come to a wide-legged forward fold. You don't have to come very far down. Tummy slightly in, feel that you're lengthening from tailbone to the top of the head, and then just relax down. So your chin is slightly tucking into your chest, and this activates something called the vagus nerve, which is very much in yoga literature at the moment as being excellent to activate, to calm or quell any inflammation in the body. The vagus nerve is complex. It links into all kinds of areas, right down to the gut. It has an effect on the heart. It has a calming effect on the nervous system when you come into a forward bend as well. And then very gently slide your hands up. Bring your legs closer together, bend your knees, and then come to lie once more on your back, hugging your knees into your chest. Just rocking from side to side. Just exploring how you feel on the lower back area. If you prefer to hug your knees into your chest and let them travel away from you, you're welcome to do that as well. Just explore massaging across the back. And then very gently bring both feet to the ground, knees upwards. Hands can be either resting on your abdomen or palms down alongside you. And just gently sway your knees from side to side. Your feet can be wider than hip width apart, if that feels nice. You're lifting your hips off the ground as you sway. You can involve your head, turning that side to side if you want to. And then very gently come to the center. You can stay like this with your knees bent. You can widen your feet and let your knees not need to touch each other. Or you can just relax along that for a few breaths. Bringing your attention to your toes. Relax them. Your shins and calves, relax. Heels and ankles. The knees, relax. The legs, tops of the legs. The thighs and the backs of the legs, relax. Feel that your hips are relaxed. Your spine on the floor is relaxed and heavy. Your chest, relaxed. Your shoulders releasing away from your ears, relaxed. And your arms, wherever they are on your abdomen or open up to alongside you, relaxed. Back of the neck's relaxed. And the head. Just turn the head from side to side. Take a moment to have a thought or an intention for the day. It can be for yourself or anyone close to you. And just mentally think of that intention a couple of times to set it. Let it go, it's set for the day. And now just choose a colour, any colour, and imagine wrapping yourself in that colour like a ball of cotton wool. In front of you, behind you, beneath you and above you. You're wrapped and protected. Only positive things can come in today. Negative things can leave, but nothing negative can come in. So just focus now on the positive. And you can either stay here to relaxing. Just bring your palms together and just bring your palms up so that your thumbs touch your centre of your forehead, your third eye. And then just release your hands down alongside you, resting either on your abdomen, on the floor, or wherever. And you can either stay here and drift off, or you can join me to end the class. I'm going to be coming up to a seated position, taking my time. And wherever you are, just take a mental bow for yourself today to have a lovely day ahead. And thank you all very much for joining me. Thank you.